The clowning was relaxation for me. I enjoyed entertaining kids.
When you think of a clown, you might imagine laughter, joy, and childhood memories. But what if that clown had a dark secret? A secret that would make your blood run cold? Welcome to Terror Hub, where we explore the most chilling stories from the darkest corners of true crime. Today, we're delving into the life of John Wayne Gacy, a man whose name has become synonymous with terror. Known as the Killer Clown, Gacy's story is one of deception, horror, and tragedy. How did a seemingly ordinary man become one of the most infamous criminals in history? Let's find out. John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois. From the outside, Gacy's early life seemed typical, but beneath the surface, he faced a troubled childhood. Gacy grew up with an abusive father who regularly belittled and physically punished him. Despite his best efforts, Gacy could never earn his father's approval, a rejection that left deep emotional scars. As a young man, Gacy tried to live a normal life. He was ambitious, hardworking, and determined to make something of himself. In 1964, he married Marlene Myers, and they moved to Waterloo, Iowa, where Gacy managed several fast food restaurants. On the surface, Gacy appeared to be living the American dream. He was married, had 2 children, and was a respected member of his community. However, beneath this facade, Gacy was hiding troubling secrets. In 1968, his double life began to unravel when he was convicted of sexually assaulting 2 teenage boys. This crime shocked his community and led to his conviction, resulting in a 10-year prison sentence. During this time, Gacy's wife divorced him, and his life took a dark turn. However, after serving only 18 months of his sentence, Gacy was released on parole for good behavior. Upon his release, he returned to Chicago, determined to rebuild his life, but the darkness within him was growing. Gacy moved to the Chicago suburb of Norwood Park, where he started his own construction business, PDM Contractors. He quickly regained respect in his community, known for his outgoing personality and generosity. Gacy became active in local politics and was even photographed with First Lady Rosalind Carter in 1978. But what truly shocked people later was his role as a volunteer clown. Gacy created the persona of Pogo the Clown, performing at children's parties, hospitals, and charity events. To everyone around him, Gacy seemed like a kind, friendly man, a pillar of the community. But this public persona was a mask hiding Gacy's true nature. From 1972 to 1978, Gacy committed a series of horrific crimes that would later be discovered as some of the most disturbing in history. He targeted young men and boys, luring them to his home with promises of work, money, or simple hospitality. Once inside, Gacy would overpower them, often using a ruse to handcuff his victims as part of a magic trick. But once they were restrained, the horror truly began. Gacy's crimes were brutal. After restraining his victims, he would subject them to terrible suffering before taking their lives. He employed a method he called the rope trick, tightening a rope around their necks until they could no longer breathe. Gacy would later describe his actions with an unnerving lack of emotion, revealing the depths of his detachment from the humanity of his victims. What made Gacy's crimes even more horrifying was his ability to lead a seemingly normal life while committing these atrocities. By day, he was a successful businessman, a community leader, and a beloved clown who brought joy to children. By night, he was a predator who buried the bodies of his victims in the crawl space beneath his house. Gacy's home became a chamber of horrors, with over 24 bodies hidden just beneath the surface. Despite the mounting evidence of something terribly wrong, Gacy managed to evade detection for years. He was a master manipulator, using his charm and status to deflect suspicion. But in December 1978, everything changed. On December 11, 1978, a 15-year-old named Robert Peast went missing after telling his mother that he was going to meet a contractor about a job. That contractor was John Wayne Gacy. When Robert didn't return home, his mother reported him missing, and the police began to investigate. As they dug deeper into Gacy's background, they discovered his criminal history and obtained a search warrant for his home. What they found inside was beyond anything they could have imagined. The crawl space beneath Gacy's house was filled with the remains of young men and boys who had gone missing over the years. The scale of Gacy's crimes was staggering. He had killed at least 33 victims, making him one of the most prolific serial killers in American history. Gacy was arrested on December 21, 1978. During his interrogation, he confessed to the murders, providing chilling details about how he had lured, tortured, and killed his victims. The horror of his crimes shocked the nation, and the story of the Killer Clown quickly became one of the most infamous in criminal history. In March 1980, Gacy was convicted of 33 counts of murder and sentenced to death. He spent the next 14 years on death row, where he continued to paint and even sold his artwork from prison. His paintings, many of which depicted clowns, became a macabre symbol of the man who had once hidden his evil behind a painted smile. On May 10, 1994, John Wayne Gacy was executed by lethal injection at the Stateville Correctional Center in Illinois. His final words reportedly were, "Kiss my ass," a defiant statement from a man who had caused so much suffering. As the lethal drugs took effect, the world finally saw the end of one of its most dangerous and twisted individuals. But even after his death, the legacy of John Wayne Gacy continues to haunt us. His crimes serve as a chilling reminder that evil can hide behind the most ordinary of masks. Gacy's story is not just about a man who committed terrible crimes, but about the darkness that can exist in the human soul. It's a tale that will forever be etched into the annals of true crime history, a reminder of the dangers lurking in the shadows. Thank you for watching Terror Hub. If this story disturbed you as much as it did us, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more terrifying tales. Have a story you want us to cover? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and stay vigilant.